It's now time for One Man's Opinion on Sports with Bryan Pasquale. The phone lines are open at 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. You can also watch live on the WBVP-WNBA Facebook page. Here is your host, Bryan Pasquale.
All right, everyone, welcome. We are 5 minutes early, a surprise to both Ryan and myself, but we'll take the extra, 6 minutes we have here, right, Ryan?
Yeah, we'll take it.
All right, 6 minutes. We got 66 minutes instead of 60 minutes today, so there we go. All right, everybody, welcome back to One Man's Opinion on Sports with me, Bryan Pasquale. I'm here at the St. Barnabas Studios. Joining me today is my producer, Ryan Garazunas. You can check him out alongside co-host Mike Mueller every Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. till noon on YouTube. Search the Two Dumb Yinzers. They talk Steelers, Pirates, Penguins, and much, much more. Also, make sure you check us out here on Beaver County Radio Facebook Live and Beaver County Radio YouTube. Give us a call. We're going to take calls, I guess, probably for the next 45 minutes or so. 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. I guess we'll do our little announcement after the 5 o'clock break. Ryan, we were talking what we were going to talk about whenever I walked in, because there's so many things going on. We have the Super Bowl in about a week and a half. We have the Pirates signing old Pirates. We have we didn't talk about this, but have you watched Unrivaled?
I love it.
You were sending me messages.
Yeah.
So you're the one that watches.
Yes.
I saw the ratings.
I'm the one.
They're getting worse ratings than I get on this show.
You know, the funny thing, I like it because it's 3-on-3. It's full court. It lets them, it gives the ladies space, and it has all the big names with the exception of Caitlin Clark. Brittany Griner's in there. All them women that you learn their names because of the phenomena that is Caitlin Clark. They're all there. They're playing in this league, and it's funny because she's not in it. She's not involved. So the reason that I'm in is because of her, and now I'm watching everybody else, and she's out. So I don't know what they're going to do. WNBA season will be long before you know it. But yes, I do. I like full court 3-on-3 women's basketball.
All right. Well, Ryan is the fan.
Lexi Hall. I think you like Lexi Hall. She's on one of the teams. Like all them gals that you learn their names over the past.
Did she get traded? I don't think she's with the Fever anymore.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what's going on?
That big woman, that Boston, that Aaliyah Boston that plays with Clark. She's in like all of them. They're all.
How could she play full court in 3-on-3? She's a
tough.
big girl.
She's tough.
Really? She hustles. All right.
She hustles.
She reminds me of like Shaq.
She would, but I tell you what, you watch her. It was surprising. And again, Unrivaled. Check it out. It's in its second week right now.
So when are we going to break here, Ryan? Are we going to break it at 5 on the dot, or are we going to break 2 minutes before 5 and coming back at 5? What's the plan here?
We are going to go all the way till quarter after.
No break.
Well, yeah, quarter after.
Okay. So we will go straight through till 5:15. Perfect. All right, Ryan. All right, Ryan's the boss. I'm just here to for the looks and the personality, and I guess I'm 0 for 2. So.
Well, you got personality.
I don't know about that. All right. So let me ask you a question. Did you watch the games on Sunday? Did you watch the NFC game and the AFC game?
I did. Yes.
Oh, you know what? Before we get into that, I have 2 minutes here.
Yeah.
Did you watch my YouTube video I put out?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't see a comment or a like from you.
I liked.
Okay.
I always.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah. So I put out a YouTube video.
And I read your other comments, and like Scap, commented, and I think you even commented to you at one point.
No, that's not me.
Oh,
That's somebody. That's another Bryan Pasquale.
Okay.
Yeah, the YouTube algorithm doesn't know who everybody is. So they see comment and then a reply to the comment. They don't know that. It could be shenanigans.
It was funny that you commented, but it was even funnier that you commented back to you.
Yes.
You answered you. I thought it was classic.
I typically do that as like to let people know what's coming down the road or something like that.
Yeah.
There's usually a purpose behind it, other than YouTube seeing that people are commenting on the video.
Thoroughly
and there's
good
interaction.
video though. Do go check it out. You're doing really well so far.
Yeah, there was a top 10 Super Bowl video. There's one Steelers Super Bowl in there. There will be another video coming out, probably with like 5 to 7 more Super Bowls that were like more, how do I want to say, more spectacular in their singular event. It wasn't like a start of a dynasty or something. Yeah, let me see here. I'm about to hit 1,000 views here. So yeah, we're getting there. We're 25 away from 1,000.
Good there.
And I think I'm 5 away from 400 subscribers. So
get in there, check them out, hit the subscribe button.
One Man's Opinion on Sports over on YouTube. So check that out. But so did you watch
Yes.
the Eagles
Yes.
versus the Redskins?
I did.
Now, what did you think? Did the Redskins just
I thought that the Redskins are early. I think that they're going to be just fine. As we were with Ben as a quarterback, a rookie quarterback. Him going 14-0 in the regular season, then getting all the way to the AFC Championship game and losing 41.
I think he went 13-0.
Then they went. They lost 20. Let me think. Give me 1 sec. I can tell you what it is. They lost. I don't remember, but they did. They lost to New England in the AFC Championship, which is exactly what Washington did. He went undefeated through the regular season, the quarterback over there in Washington I'm talking about, and he went all the way to the championship game. So I think they're going to be just fine.
I just think Philadelphia is the best team in the NFL. I know a lot of people were high on the Lions, but I also thought like the Lions just had too many injuries, too many guys that were on their practice squad getting minutes in games. And when you go up against good teams, you're just not going to beat them. So I think that the Eagles are by far the best team in the NFL.
41-27. You could check me on that.
But Ben only had 13 wins because he sat out the final game against Buffalo, and they played. Who was the quarterback that got hurt?
Tommy Maddox.
Tommy Maddox played that game, and Willie Parker played that game and had over 100 yards rushing, and then Willie Parker became the starter, I want to say, the season after that.
Okay.
Something like
when
that.
When they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, something like that.
But Philadelphia, they're really solid. I do worry about this team because you got to remember in the regular season when they were without Jalen Hurts, they still managed to put up 45 points. This is a really good football team from top to bottom. This reminds me of the football team that the Steelers usually have. I mean, where you're pretty solid at every position. I can't say that about our Steelers right now, but in the past, as we consistently be a pretty decent football team overall, we usually are pretty good from top to bottom. That's the way this Philadelphia team is. They got great line play. They got great skill position players. I'll be surprised if the Eagles do not pull it off this time. But you know what? If Patrick Mahomes does what he does and they win, I wouldn't be surprised either. So this one could go either way for me.
Yeah, I just think that Jalen Hurts, I don't think he's it. But if they can get up early and just lean on the run game, I think that they can control that whole game. I don't think the Chiefs are very good. Somehow they have, 15 wins?
Yeah, they
16 wins, something
in the
like
regular
that this
season. They went 15-2. Yeah,
it's just like, why are they good?
They got a good defense.
They have a great defense. They got a very unrated.
And people don't think about that because you're so focused on Mahomes and Kelsey and Taylor Swift and Andy Reid and his commercials. You forget that they have a really, really good defense, and I think that's going to be the deciding factor in this game.
Now, how many Swifty bracelets will you wear for the Super Bowl?
Swifty, I don't even know what that is. That's Swifty bracelets?
Yeah, I think they make bracelets. And I've seen,
If you let me borrow one of yours, I'll wear it, but I'm
not giving those things up. Here's the thing. I couldn't imagine idolizing anyone that way.
Yeah.
Like Troy Polamalu is probably one of the nicest humans, one of my favorite athletes, but I don't know. I'm not going to perm my hair and use whatever. What's his commercial? Head and Shoulders. Yeah, right. I'm not going to buy Head and Shoulders just because that's what he.
You know what? When you're younger, I think everybody idolizes somebody when they're younger. I mean, come on, you're still a kid. You don't really know what's going on in the world around you. But so that doesn't surprise me. It's the older people that really get into this Taylor Swift thing that kind of freaks me out.
Whenever I was doing my Super Bowl videos on YouTube over One Man's Opinion on Sports over on YouTube, check that out, by the way. Ty Law had an interception for a touchdown.
In the Super Bowl, yes.
In the Super Bowl, yes.
Ty Law was a bad dude.
Yes.
No two ways
like
about
I said,
it.
I saw him play in high school.
Yeah.
They beat up on South Park 9-0 to I think 6 or 7 or something it was.
They beat everybody like that. But he was a great. He's in the Hall of Fame for a reason.
Yeah. I was like, oh, there's Ty Law, interception. I think I put it in one of the clips. I don't know. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't.
Yeah.
It was brutal. That video took me so long. It's only 13 minutes, but you'd think it was 4 hours long.
Right.
For how much work I had to put into it. I mean, think about every clip I put in there is 4 seconds.
Yeah.
So 13 minutes, 4 seconds. So I had to find it and then it has to match up with what I'm talking about.
Right.
And it's tough. It's really tough.
Well, I know like one day it was like 3 a.m. and I'm at home watching Sanford and Son, and you had texted and you had said, dude, this is going to take me, I got this much done, but I'm going to be up at least till 6 o'clock today. And, so I knew you were working hard on it. No two ways about it.
Yeah, there was the last 2 days, I think I was up till 6 in the morning and then 7 in the morning, and I posted it. I posted it for 8 o'clock to come on, so I had an hour to spare. I was going to post it for 10. I'm like, why not just post it now? And so it's up. More videos to come. I posted a short today. There will be 8 more shorts coming from this video. But yeah, so the Steelers. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because we'll get into the Super Bowl a little bit later, but I don't see any hope. It's not like, we're this away from like we don't have a quarterback.
Like we
don't have a running back.
We can't just plug in a piece and be expecting to go to the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah, we have a defense that is the highest paid defense, and they can't stop anybody. You talk about Fitzpatrick, who has been like below average.
Yeah.
He's getting all that money. Cam had a decent season, but he still can't stop the run. I don't understand what the deal is. Why can't they stop the run?
I mean, that line is getting aged, of course. I mean, you see Cam on one end of it, and then you see Larry Ogunjobi, who I guess has done okay. I mean, you haven't heard his name, so is that good or is that bad? I think it could really go either way, but I don't really recall Ogunjobi getting in any kind of issues with penalties or anything like that. So I just think that it's an aging line. At some point, you're going to have to go younger. You're seeing defensive lines in these particular rounds of the playoffs, the championship round and the divisional round, when you're starting to get the good teams are the only teams that are left. You're weeding out the okay teams. They all seem to have that. They all seem to have that same recipe. Brian, it's they got good offensive line play, good defensive line play. Every one of these teams has a superstar on their defensive line. Look at Jalen Carter for Philadelphia. This guy's a monster. And then Jones for Kansas City. I think you got to have one of those kind of dynamic players on the interior defensive line. Again, if you're going to stay competitive, we had the highest paid defense. Check this out. In the first quarter of all the games this year, the Steelers let up the most first quarter points out of everybody. Nobody in the league has given up more. 31 teams below us. The Steelers gave up the most points, first quarter points. And check this out. Just a little comparison. Back in 1975, the Steelers didn't give up a single point in first quarters all season. I'm not comparing to compare, but I'm comparing to compare. You see what I'm saying? This is the highest paid defense in the league. Yet we gave up more first quarter points than anybody. So, there's certainly issues. If we're going to sit here and say, well, it's the quarterback, it's this, it's that, I think there's definitely a plethora of issues that the Steelers team has to deal with.
So if you draft and acquire players to have a run-first offense, which is, I think, what our goal was to be, is like, we're gonna wear you down and we're gonna grind the game down, and we're gonna shorten the game, and we're gonna run. But like you said, if we're giving up the most amount of points in the first quarter, now you're behind. You can't control the game, and maybe you're playing a style of football that you didn't build for.
And it's certainly not ideal. I mean, for any team, no matter what you do, being behind in every single game in the first quarter is not ideal for anybody. And you were just talking about Minkah. Let me give you a little bit of an idea, Brian, since he's been here. Back in 2019, this is Minkah Fitzpatrick QB rating against. This is the QB's rating against Minkah Fitzpatrick. 2019, a modest 53.7. That's, pretty good. 2020, 19.2. His opponent's QB rating, 19.2. Comes back to reality the next year, 2021, it's 55.7. 2022 stays in the same area, 52.6. Get this, the last 2 seasons, Brian, 2023, 83.6. But get this, I hope you're sitting down, 2024, 129.4 is the rating that the QBs have playing against Minkah. Again, going from those 50s, even the 19, up to 129.4. Again, he's one of these 3 players that's just sucking up so much money on this team. Something's got to be done with Minkah. Something has to be done. He can't continue to play this way and stay on this team. And go to the All-Pro game? This is the worst season he's had since he's been here.
Well, he's not the only problem.
No, absolutely not.
I think that there's 11 problems. I really think that just they all need to go. I mean, like Joey Porter Jr., he just grabs people. And then, and then he complains whenever a flag gets thrown.
Right.
So I don't understand. That's your first round pick. I mean, what was it? The first pick in the second round, but it was still the 32nd pick.
Right.
Fatano, he's out for the year. Broderick Jones, they traded up, and he gave up the second most amount of sacks as a right tackle.
He's almost as disappointing as that first round pick as Ziggy Hood was. You remember Ziggy Hood? Yeah,
Yes.
most people don't. He's almost as disappointing as Ziggy Hood.
And then you have Dan Moore Jr., who he plays. I mean, he's in there. He doesn't block anybody, but he's in there. Gives up the most sacks out of any lineman. You had the guy from West Virginia, Zach Frazier, and McCormick.
Yeah, they played well.
They played okay.
For rookies, I mean, getting thrown into the...
They're going to get better. They
absolutely.
weren't terrible. So if they played okay, I'm fine with that.
Absolutely.
And then you said who's... The Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Who got into the Pro Bowl?
Well, right now we have Russell Wilson just got joined yesterday.
What?
Yeah, Russell Wilson is in the
What?
Pro Bowl.
Are you serious?
I'm straight up serious. He is an alternative player. The day before that, Isaac Seumalo got in. So those two guys, a few days prior to that.
How does Seumalo get in?
You know what? He's had the worst season so far in a long time as well.
Yeah, terrible.
Seumalo, and then before that was the special teams, Miles Killebrew. I think he deserves to be there.
Yeah, there you go.
And then the other guys were who? It was Cam, it was TJ, it was Minka, and it was Boz. So seven altogether. I think TJ's not going, but overall with alternatives.
Oh, don't worry, he wouldn't be able to grab anybody's flags.
We have 7 All Pros overall, which is a huge surprise to me. Again, some of these guys, but you have to go back and look.
We couldn't even win a game.
But you go back and look at that Ravens team. I don't even remember the guy's name. That backup to Lamar when he went as an alternative. Of course, he's not a Pro Bowl player right now. Why
don't they just have a list? You made the Pro Bowl list. Boom.
Yeah.
It's on the internet. That's it.
Because a lot of guys drop out. And then a lot of guys, the guys that go to the Super Bowl, they don't participate. So those names obviously get extracted.
Right, but that's what I'm just saying. Just have a list.
Yeah.
Like, here's who made the Pro Bowl. Now, who ends up going and playing
right.
could be a different thing, but this is the Pro Bowl list.
And God forbid you missed the flag football game. You know what I mean? What a waste.
Yeah, I asked you about Seumalo. I'm like, well, what the heck do they need offensive linemen for?
But they also have the games, which starts tomorrow. The contest, the tug of war, the gauntlet. Are you
going to watch any of this garbage?
You know what? I'm because I do like the challenges. I'm going to watch tomorrow. But that flag football game, I think, is a waste. Why not have the hockey?
Is this like on Nickelodeon? Do they get slimed at some point? Like,
why not put
what was that show?
your hockey, your NHL All-Stars, and go have them play volleyball? It just makes no sense. Yes, flag football and football, but come on, it's at least if they're not gonna. I don't want there not to be an All-Star game. I like the idea. I mean, it's something that's always been there for every sport, but whatever they were doing wasn't working, and what they're doing now, in my opinion, isn't working, and also according to the ratings. So I'd like to see them try a couple different things here, actually, with the All-Stars.
What was it? Okay, so Mark Summers.
Double Dare.
Double Dare.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I was trying to find. Okay, so they're playing Double Dare.
Basically.
So who do you think's going to win, the AFC or the NFC in Double Dare?
I don't even know if it matters. Where it used to. Remember, they used to. I mean, there was some kind of something in the game. I can't remember what it was, but
yeah, the winners should get more money than the losers,
right,
or something,
of course.
right? Or you should be able to host the World Series or something. Isn't that what Major League
the World
Baseball
Series?
does?
Yeah, for baseball for sure. Which I wasn't against that, but I got to say that this is kind of a waste. I will watch the competitive games tomorrow. That does start tomorrow. You can see all the guys out there playing tug of war again. They run through the gauntlet. They do all those different challenges, which I think that's fun, and you can see them out there having fun. But as far as having a game itself, I think there still needs to be some kind of all-star game that isn't the flag football.
Let me ask you a question. Now, we were talking about maybe the NBA back in '92.
Yeah.
Before we went on the air 6 minutes earlier than we were expecting.
That's 6 minutes.
Hey, 66. That's a good number.
Yes, it is.
So, my question is, did LeBron James and Adam Silver ruin the All-Star break for the NBA?
Probably. I think the NBA has a lot more issues than just Adam Silver, LeBron James. I mean, go look at the ratings. It's literally crashing. That sport is struggling right now. I don't know what they're going to be able to do to fix it, what they're going to be able to do to stop the slide, but the NBA is doing really bad.
Here's what I don't get. They gave them like trillions of dollars or something in this new deal.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Ryan. The players are making like $50 million a year, and some of them aren't even good.
Right.
$50 million. And, what was your favorite part of the All-Star games back then?
As a kid, I loved the slam dunk contest.
Yes, right. Okay.
Loved it.
LeBron James, the face of the league, known as a dunker,
right.
Never participated in it.
He never did one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Never. So, okay, so you're just saying the superstars shouldn't participate in something that petty. And now they have a guy that they bring up from the G League.
Yes.
And has won at the last. Now, he's a good dunker.
Yeah.
But he's not even an NBA player.
Right.
They literally bring a guy up from a different league. That's like bringing in Caitlin Clark for the three-point contest, which I think they did last year. Steph Curry went up against a girl from the WNBA. I don't know which girl. And I think she did well. But, they use that little ball. That's why. It's so easy to shoot those things.
And I do like the WNBA. Don't get me wrong. I think that I'd rather, matter of fact, watch the WNBA nowadays than the NBA. But, there's always that argument. Well, we don't want to put the rim a half foot lower. But we would never. Well, the ball's smaller. If you want everything to be the same, why wouldn't you use regular size NBA ball? I think that the rim coming down a half foot goes a long way for that sport. I don't think it takes anything away, but I think
if it was 9 feet, or maybe 9.5, whatever, and some of those girls could just slam it down, that would be fantastic.
I mean, I could see Brittany Griner out there dunking on the regular if that was the case.
She should be in the NBA. I don't think she's a girl.
You leave her alone.
You like her.
You know I like her.
All right, well, we're going to talk more sports when we come back. You guys have been listening to WBVP 99.3 FM and 1230. We'll be right back to One Man's Opinion on Sports.
Listen to WBVP and 99.3 FM each Monday through Friday for the obituaries presented by Beaver Cemetery. Announcements will be made at 12:30 and 1:30 p.m. The obituaries will announce the loss of our loved ones to the community, along with other important related information. The obituaries every Monday through Friday on WBVP and 99.3 FM at 12:30 and 1:30 p.m. Visit beavercountyradio.com for more information. Brought to you by the Beaver Cemetery.
Zookie Sports Tavern on Constitution Boulevard has the best wings and homemade sauces in Beaver County. Zookie Sports Tavern is the perfect place to grab a bite to eat or a cold beverage before high school basketball games. Zookie Sports Tavern has a heated and enclosed outside bar, equipped with several big screen TVs, and is the ideal place to watch all of your favorite sports. Don't forget to become a VIP for discounts and special offers at Zookies.com. That's Zookie Sports Tavern on Constitution Boulevard.
Let's get grumped up. Feel like grabbing a drink with friends or enjoying a delicious meal? Stop in the Grumpy Beaver, 234 Bridge Street in Bridgewater. Try a variety of hoagies or hot dogs. Enjoy the wedge selections or a mouth-watering dessert. If you need a place to host an event, they've got that covered too. Call the Grumpy Beaver today and become a member of the Grumpy Nation. To keep up with current events, live music selections, and more, follow the Grumpy Beaver on Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget to check out the Spirit Speakeasy located upstairs behind the red door, Thursday through Saturday at the Grumpy Beaver.
Al's Pizza in the Fisher's Beverage Plaza in New Brighton is open. Yes, the owner of the food truck whose pizza you enjoy has a storefront in New Brighton next to Fine Wine and Good Spirits. Al's Pizza is open Tuesdays through Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Al's Pizza also has hoagies, calzones, pepperoni rolls, and gluten-free options. If you like pickles, you will love their pickle pizza. Yes, pickle pizza. So stop out and see Al next in the Fisher's Beverage Plaza in New Brighton for a pizza this football season.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Now back to One Man's Opinion with Bryan Pasquale.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to One Man's Opinion on Sports with me, Bryan Pasquale. I'm here at the same part of his studios. Joining me today is my producer, Ryan Garazunas. We do have a caller, so let's just get right into the caller. We have Jerry on the line. Jerry wants to talk about your battle in Buccos, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I guess some of their transactions. Go ahead, Jerry.
Hey, now that Party City is closed, where do I buy confetti?
I think the internet.
Yeah, the internet.
Amazon.
I think, with today's signing of Adam Frazier, I think it's the World Series all the way this year.
I just told Brian this before the show. I think it was, we were talking Pirates, and I said I liked him. I mean, I liked him when he was here last time, but again,
yeah, too.
But you're right. I mean, come on, we're not. We're still a long way to go, aren't we, Jerry?
Well, I'm not real great on the new stats that they have, but if you hit 202 last year, is it really fair to use that in a slash line? I mean, that's more like a crash line. That's just awful.
I believe that's lower than the Mendoza line. Everybody thinks it's 200, but the Mendoza, I think he batted like 217 for his career or something like that. But yeah, I don't. There's no hope there either. We were talking about no hope for the Steelers, but I mean, can they win 80 games or 82 games this year, or is it going to be in the 70s again?
It's going to top out at 80. I mean, I can't see them. If they hit 500 this year, I think it's going to be like, get some confetti. It's going to be great. But, I could see this team winning under 70 games this year. They need one injury to the starting pitchers, and that'll unravel everything for them.
That's kind of how it played out last year as well, Jerry, with Jones. He went out with that injury, and they kept telling us on the game, he'll be back by the beginning of this month, and then another month went by, and another month went by, and we, you just don't know with these guys.
It's one of those deals. It's like, they let a pitcher go. That Alvarado or something, the young guy's supposed to throw like a rock at every pitch and all that stuff. They put him on the 40-man. They took him off the 40-man roster so somebody can claim him. So you look at it now. They got Horwitz and Adam Frazier, and they gave up 4 pitchers. And it's like, you don't have that much pitching depth. You better watch that. That's a lot of pitchers going off a staff that, really, are they that good? I don't know.
Yes, Adam Frazier did bat .305 back in 2021. He batted .324 here. Then we traded him because he was going to leave at the end of the year, and I guess we had to get something for him. Since then, he's batted .238, .240, and like you had said, .202 this past season.
Yeah, 202. I always pick on. They got rid of that Brian Dela Cruz.
Yeah,
Brian Dela Cruz isn't a great player. But Brian Dela Cruz last year, he had 233, had 21 Major League Baseball home runs. He didn't do great with the Pirates,
right.
But he did great around the rest of the league. He did okay. He would get 21. And you see the guys they want to bring in. They had that one guy for the Mets. I think he hit 177. They talked about him. They got a guy from the Orioles that they were talking about, bring him in. I think he had 5 homers and 20 RBIs last year. And I tell you, the really scary thing, they're making a big talk on all these Pirate fan sites about the renaissance of Jack Sawinski this year.
Oh.
If that's our hope, but we are in big trouble. Brian De La Cruz, he did spell it with a Y, so I did like him. Although
here we go.
He did come over. he came over, and he had 20 home runs when the Pirates got him. What did you say he ended up with?
21.
21.
And
He
who
hit
was
one
the-
home
I
run.
think he had 3 with the Pirates. I think he had 18.
Who was the
maybe.
guy? Who was the guy that was?
He crawled to 21. Yeah, it wasn't real great. But
Who was the guy that went to the Yankees? Who was on the same team? The guy that we wanted at first at the trade deadline. He went to the Yankees, and we ended up getting De La Cruz. He went up there and he hit like 10 home runs with the Yankees when he was up there.
oh yeah, Jazz Chisholm.
Chisholm,
he
yes.
was going to be a troublemaker. 'Cause,
Absolutely.
I guess he hit, so we didn't know what to do with him. But it's just really sad to see that these players that they want to bring in, not one of them was any better than De La Cruz, and that's the troubling part. If you got a young guy like this guy's going to be pretty good, we'll give him a shot. None of these guys have potential. It's like you might as well kept him, but I guess no.
Yeah, why bring in those guys? Why not just bring in the guys that you have in AAA and hope that a 22-year-old takes off?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I don't know, was that Tremar Johnson or something? Put him in right field and let him hit a little bit or something to see what happens. But they're putting an awful lot of hope into Sawinski, Henry Davis, and that Bednar coming back and having big years. And boy, I could see clink, clank, clunk, and they all three fall.
Absolutely. There was time, a lot of times last year when you hoped that David Bednar would be able to come in and close the game, and he didn't. There was plenty of times last year when Henry Davis comes up to the plate and you thought, okay, a clutch hit here would be great, and it didn't happen. There was many times that you thought Jack Sawinski's going to be up next inning. This will give us some kind of an offensive charge. It didn't happen. So, do they see something in these guys that we don't see? I don't know, but they seem to love, the Bednars. So I don't know, Jerry. It's tough. And another thing about this Pirates team, if you know anything about trading stocks, you buy low and you sell high. Pirates do the opposite. They really do.
Almost every time. Yeah.
They get rid of. They got rid of the guy we were just talking, Frazier, when he was batting 3-something, and then they get him back at 100. And I just don't know what they're doing. I wish they'd put more effort into this team the way that they put effort into trying to rip that kid off in California who found the Paul Skeens baseball card. If they put that kind of effort into winning baseball, I think we would be just fine.
That's probably the funniest thing you've ever said.
His family was going to move from L.A. to Pittsburgh just to take advantage of this.
Right. And, it isn't like they don't have what's the guy, the big Asian guy out there, Tawny. They got the Dodgers that win World Series. Yeah, come over here to Pittsburgh and enjoy some of our baseball. Come on.
My favorite stat from last year, and I always tell that to people, and they always like, what? Is Jason DeLay last year had 15 at-bats.
Yes.
He was injured a lot of the year. He didn't play. He had 15 at-bats. He ended up with 6 RBIs for the year. Henry Davis had 104 at-bats last year. How many RBIs did he have?
I don't even think 10.
I don't recall.
5.
Yeah.
Oh, 5. Wow.
So Jason DeLay drove in more runs in 15 at bats than Henry Davis, the slugging potential guy, did in 104.
Wow.
When you see stuff like that, it gets scary, and they're counting on big years from guys who have never had a big year.
Yes.
I don't know how that's going to happen.
Let me ask you this, Jerry. The catcher position, I think, is going to be interesting. I don't know if they're going to build as a 1-2 or who they're going to let be the starter, but I like that Joey Bart last year. I thought he performed pretty well, but now you're getting Endy Rodriguez back. How does the Endy Rodriguez coming back healthy affect the whole catcher position? I mean, we had about 5 catchers last year, if I'm remembering right. Do you think it's going to be those 2 guys? And if you do, who do you think will be the starter?
I think it has to be.
Yes.
I tell you, get rid of Henry Davis, if anything. I wouldn't put him on the big league roster, and I wouldn't put him on the big league roster in place. Here's a fun fact for you. Joey Bart.
Yeah.
Henry Davis, first-round draft pick, 25 years old. You got to give him a chance. Joey Bart's only 28 years old.
Uh-huh.
He was the 2nd overall pick. And he had a better year last year than Henry Davis had for his career. I mean, which guy would you rather see out there?
And it almost seemed like Joey Bart, it was the whole new environment. He got out of San Francisco. He came. It was a whole new light. He went out there, and I thought he played just as good as most catchers did. So I like Joey Bart a lot. I just can't wait to see what Endy can bring to the table and, see what we can.
He's a better catcher, and he hit with power, and, he hit for better average by far. Yeah, I think Endy Rodriguez, I think the thing with him, he could play multiple positions. I think he could play a little first base because they played him here last year in the minors because they didn't want him, blowing his arm out, throwing, back and forth from catcher. But he could play a little first base. I don't know if he could play outfield or not, but, those catchers, they only play about 120 games.
Right.
I'm kind of excited to see Rodriguez because
on the days he isn't playing, put Rodriguez in there for 35, 40 games at least.
Yeah.
Catching. I think they can manage that, but Henry Davis, take him out of the equation completely until he proves he can hit.
I agree. They set him down for how long last year? I mean, you go down, you improve. Obviously, you're not facing as good as pitching, and that. So, who knows what they're going to do with Henry Davis? And we're kind of running out of spots for him as well. I don't, as you said, you're going to get your 1 and your 2 behind the plate unless there's an injury. I see no real reason to have Henry Davis behind home plate.
Hey, I'll tell you one last thing. Last year when they sent Henry Davis down in the minors, they brought him up in September. I says, Henry Davis has to do this to prove that he should get a shot next year. Give him 50 at-bats. He has to get at least 12 hits, and he has to strike out no more than 15 times. Those are pretty light things. I mean, you hit 240, and you strike out at less than a 30% clip. He came up, he went 2 for 19, 2 singles, no RBIs, and he got hurt. And that was the end of him in September. And I said, you know what? I said, You got to prove it down to minors. You don't even get a chance to come up here and prove it because you're not ready yet, or if you ever will be.
You're right.
God, if we see him and Sawinski in the lineup opening day,
that's a lot of strikeouts.
65 to 70.
They got to cut down on these strikeouts.
That's a lot of 3-pitch strikeouts right there.
They got to cut down on these strikeouts.
You get home early, though. You figure the game starts at 6:30. You'll be home by 9:30 with those two guys.
Exactly.
All right.
Thank you so much, Jerry. Great call, brother.
All right, Jerry.
Take care.
Bye.
You know, Ryan, before we take this next call, we're going to go to break, but I did want to bring up one thing. Andy Rodriguez, will he come back? Will his braces be off, or will we still have the braces?
You know what? That's a funny question. I forgot all about him having the braces, but you know what? Good for him. Not a bad idea to have nice teeth, and
I'm sure his teeth are going to be $1 million come. I don't know. I don't know if they usually only have them on for about 2.5 years now.
Okay,
it's a lot quicker than back in the day when we had them.
Yeah,
like headgear and all that crazy stuff.
Yeah,
but so.
Obviously, my parents didn't care. They said, you know what, let the teeth get mangled and weird looking. But there were kids in my grade that I thought, geez, Louise, you have had braces for a very long time.
Yeah, that'd be like 4 years you'd have them on.
Right.
Like, what the heck is that? That's just miserable. Your whole mouth's all cut up and everything.
Right.
All right, well, listen, we got another call, so let's go to break here because we have to, and then we'll come back to our caller. You guys been listening to WBVP 99.3 FM and 1230 AM.
McDonald's value menu, and it includes breakfast. Buy one sausage biscuit, sausage McMuffin, burrito, or hash brown, and get the second one for only $1. And you're able to mix and match. Only at your local area McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Make your dream of a college degree a reality at Community College of Beaver County. CCBC offers 10 pathways to success, including health sciences, criminal justice, industrial technology, business, and more. Start at CCBC and finish your career or get transfer ready, all at a realistic cost. Enroll today, ccbc.edu.
Let's get grumped up. Feel like grabbing a drink with friends or enjoying a delicious meal? Stop in the Grumpy Beaver, 234 Bridge Street in Bridgewater. Try a variety of hoagies or hot dogs. Enjoy the wedge selections or a mouth-watering dessert. If you need a place to host an event, they've got that covered too. Call the Grumpy Beaver today and become a member of the Grumpy Nation. To keep up with current events, live music selections, and more, follow the Grumpy Beaver on Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget to check out the Spirit Speakeasy located upstairs behind the red door, Thursday through Saturday at the Grumpy Beaver.
You know, I've heard people refer to older veteran athletes as being all washed up. Well, quite frankly, that's a rather nice compliment if you ask me. This is the Aquaman of Beaver County, Jim Riggio from the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority. When you hear something like that, you have to consider the source of the water, that is. After all, getting washed up with Beaver Falls Municipal Authority water can't be a bad thing. That's because for over 80 years, we've made it possible for everyone to feel washed up, even if they are not star athletes. Click bfwater.net.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Now back to One Man's Opinion with Bryan Pasquale.
All right, welcome back to One Man's Opinion with Sports on Sports with me, Bryan Pasquale. I'm here at the St. Barnabas Studios. Joining me today is my producer, the greatest producer this side of the Mississippi, Ryan Garazunas. We have a caller. Let's just get into the call because, we're running out of time already. Anonymous Gambler.
Okay, let's just start. What's an 11-year-old boy from Los Angeles going to do with season tickets in Pittsburgh for 30 years? Make a serious offer, Pittsburgh.
He could scalp him for probably a box of popcorn.
And this
They offered him Livy Dunn. He's 11. Maybe if he was like 14 or 15, he's 11. They make joke offers. They don't even know what this kid wants. That offer was stupid.
You don't offer a young child a date with a hot guy. Come on, that's weird, right?
Even if it was like a 16 or 18-year-old or an adult, it gets kind of creepy. Like, what do you let me watch?
What if it was reversed?
With this girl I can't touch.
What if it was reversed though? Like, what if there was like some like Zac Efron dude? You get to sit in a booth with him if you're like an 11-year-old girl. That like people would be like flipping out about that.
Enough about your dreams, Brian. We're talking about somebody else.
I don't know anybody young. I just
All right. Yeah, no, what an insane situation. And as I told Jerry on the last call, if they would spend as much effort trying to put this baseball team together as they were trying to shake down this 11-year-old kid, I think we'd be just fine, right?
I don't know. I don't know if I go that far. They'd be better, though.
Yeah.
Maybe a winning season.
I have a question for you, Anonymous Gambler. You are not an illegal immigrant, are you?
Let's just say I don't get that into my personal life.
All right, because I know a couple people on ice that might they just want to know things, you know.
No, I'm full-blooded American.
Do you follow politics?
Here and there, I saw Trump was trying to make an executive order to have Creed play at this year's halftime show for the Super Bowl. That failed. Did you see his play? I mean, I don't get these halftime shows anymore.
I have no interest. Like, I'll mute it or turn it. You know, like I don't even care.
I like the extended halftime. I will say that, though. I like the extra 30 minutes to go. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, but to go outside, have a smoke.
Maybe place a couple bets, some second halftime bets.
Oh, yeah, you got to. Usually those are in as soon as the clock hits triple zeros. I'm already looking into those.
Do you think
it's get the ball, the wind direction?
Let me ask you this, Joe. Do you think that the halftime shows, they don't interest guys like us because it's just out of our time? Now, let me put it to you this way. A couple years back when they had the Dr. Dre and Eminem and Snoop Dogg, I got into that. Because these guys are guys that I'm familiar with. I grew up with their music. Do you think that that's what it is? We're just kind of, they're marketing towards younger people, and that's why we keep getting the halftime shows we're getting? Because, again, if it's somebody that I knew or I'm familiar with, I'm okay with it. But most of these people are people that younger people do listen to. Is that what's going on here?
It's total garbage. I feel like it's like a center of attention thing where it's who can get the best money, the most attention. Remember when Prince did his little dance on stage? It looked like he was holding we won't say what it was on radio, but he did all that. Then Justin Timberlake ripped the thing off. We can't say that on there probably either when he did it to Jackson.
What was it? The wardrobe malfunction, I think they called it.
The best halftime show ever, maybe you guys will remember, maybe you'll agree, was on Thanksgiving with the Dallas Cowboys when Creed played.
I don't recall this.
Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving. That doesn't sound familiar, right?
Cowboys Thanksgiving, Creed played. It was actually amazing. Shame on you for not knowing.
Okay.
They still have a team?
Do a deep dive video on that one, Ryan.
I tell you
That'll
what,
be number one.
You thought we're in bad shape. Look what the Cowboys are doing. Yeah. No,
so I do have a question for you, Anonymous Gambler. Now, did you bet on the refs or did you bet on the Bills? I mean, the Chiefs.
Oh, man. Talk about a sucker. Bills and Redskins. Who would have thought?
I need to get advice from you. If you could just get me your email, shoot me everything you're betting on, and then I'm just going to bet the exact opposite and double your money.
Exact opposite. Well, here's the thing. I told you guys. I said guarantee it was going to be the Commanders and Chiefs. Of course, I go heavy on the Commanders. They lose. I was like, oh, I can't. Yeah, not gonna fall for this one again. I'm switching to the Bills. Sure enough. I mean, that was the first down. How the ball was over the first line marker.
On third down.
Yeah.
Two calls in that game.
Second, at the end of the first half, I think it was the end of the first half, it was a 2-minute warning, and I didn't know it was a rule where, like, the ref looks for a second, and then, like, the play clock had 30-some seconds, and there was 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first half, and it somehow wound to the 2-minute warning. Did you see that?
Yeah. With the two plays during the course of that particular game, it was, of course, the Josh Allen non-first down, and then that interception down the right sideline near the end zone. I think a Bill caught it, and then it was ripped out of his hand by the Chief. I think those were the two most questionable calls. But at the end of the day, I mean, when you look at that play where if Josh Allen was on, if he crossed the line, you got to be able to see that ball, though. That I do defend the NFL in that particular case because, yes, common sense tells you that his body and the ball in front of him crossed that line. But if you don't see the ball in the video, how you can't confirm. But the bigger question is, there's cameras everywhere. Why was there not a camera at that angle?
Why do they have to get so cute doing the QB sneak or the tush push every time, the Bills? What were they doing running the tush push off tackle?
Yeah, I know. You don't see that often. I mean,
Josh Allen, I hate to say it, I think he was a little bit. I think the nerves had him at the beginning of the game. He fumbled that ball early on. I mean, he
threw a couple real high ones too.
Yeah, he did. I think the nerves just got to him, and I think they very easily could have won, even with his subpar first half performance. But the magic wasn't there. You felt like it just wasn't there. Like you knew they weren't going to pull it off. You knew.
So this, in theory, fellas, this team has been to 7 straight AFC championships. Mahomes is looking for his 4th Super Bowl win, 3 in a row, 4 in the last 5 years. This team, for the first time in 38 games, scored over 31 points with 3 minutes left in this AFC championship. Guys, that went all the way back to the 3rd game of last season where they put up 41 against the Bears. Since then, they have not scored over 31 points. This is they're telling us this is one of the best teams ever. Obviously, the team of the 20s. They could go back to back to back. He's getting Brady's numbers in a faster pace that Brady was able to get the numbers. But at the end of the day, this team, it took them 38 games, almost 40 games to go over 31 points. And look it up. They did not score over 31 points in 38 straight games. Yet we're supposed to believe this is a team that's accomplishing these amazing feats. I just don't know what to think about this.
It's weird. But, hey, the reason I called in, why do the Pirates want to get a baseball card off an 11-year-old? I still can't figure out. Can anyone actually answer why the Pirates do want to get this baseball card off this little boy?
Because they're cheap.
That is an odd. Like, why do they need the card?
Yeah. At first, I thought it was Skeens that wanted it. No, it's the Pirates.
Yeah.
And then did they have to call Livy and be like, "Hey, can we who are you out?" And what's the deal there?
And why is Livy doing all these things just for free, just on retainer, where she's going to give pole dances in the suite to an 11-year-old boy to get the baseball card back off? Her
boyfriend's going to be the first $1 billion contract in sports, so I think she's playing the long-term relationship here.
Yeah, it definitely ain't looks, huh? My opinion on this.
Did she like Joe Burrow? He's much more handsome than Paul Skeens.
My thing is, I just think that they're a ripoff. This team has been ripping us off for decades as fans. This team has been ripping its players off. They cut Rowdy Tellez 4 at bats short of getting his bonus last year. They're trying to shake down this kid, an 11-year-old, and give him way less than what he's going to probably get for that card going to the auction. He'll be able to turn around and get himself season tickets for with the money and have ample money provided.
They were going to whack him like Joe Pesci as soon as he got to Pittsburgh.
And as I told the caller as well, you have the Dodgers in California. That's fun. You have Ohtani in California. They have enough good baseball to where he's probably not going to want to come and sit up at a Pirates game every day. The dude lives in California. It's weird. They rip people off. That's what they do.
That was a bonehead. Awful offer.
I'm glad they did the right thing. I'm glad they went to the auction.
Mr. Burns would do to try to rob a child on the same.
That is exactly what Mr. Burns would do.
Right.
All right.
I have one question before you go here. What are your thoughts about this new press secretary for Trump? Caroline Leavitt?
Oh, she's fired.
She's the blonde, right?
She is blonde. She's like 28. Maybe they should allow this 11-year-old boy to go into one of her press.
Well, I guess they're all making a big deal about her cross right now. I'm seeing on social media.
I love it. I love everything about it. She did the whole thing without a binder. She had everyone's name memorized.
Yeah.
There was no note cards with the reporter's name and the reporter's question. She didn't say, "I'll have to circle back. I'll have to do this.
Yeah.
Let me get back to that." I mean,
very transparent. I think that's what Americans really truly want is transparency in their government, and we're getting it from this.
Here's the one thing I will.
For the Pirates to spend some money, like the federal government, flip-flop back.
Like I love transparency, and I love like the fact that they want to be transparent. But like Donald Trump is literally on TV the entire day. Like I need a break. Can we go to commercial for this guy?
Or at least give him his own channel.
It's like something we've never seen before.
I'm not getting enough. It's just the on off that just went on, the switch that just went on from the lights in the White House even go on at like 5 a.m. now.
Yeah.
I mean, you watch CNN or MSNBC, Fox, they show the White House. The lights are on. Literally.
I thought Biden's son had the lights on at 5 a.m. for different reasons.
4:30, they were going off.
He was just getting home.
Going to bed. But hey, I don't know when you'll be back, Brian. But great show. I can't wait till you guys are back. And I can't wait to call in and complain about the NFL draft. It'll probably be that.
I'll let Ryan know when we'll be back so he can let you know. It's going to be either March, the first Wednesday in March, or the first Wednesday in April. One of those two.
Okay, well, either see you for March Madness or for the draft.
Ooh,
Yep.
yeah.
We'll do.
Got a lot coming up.
God bless.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks.
my man. Always a great caller.
Oh, we have the best callers.
We do.
It's going to be sad. It's going to be a sad month in February, no show, but that's okay.
Everybody, people be rearing and chomping at the bit to get back at it whenever we do get back. And like he said, Brian, we do have March Madness and also the draft. So a lot of good things in the
Right. Yeah. So and if you're just tuning in, we will be taking a break from the show for at least 4 shows, possibly longer. But we will be back on same time, same day. So don't go anywhere, even though we won't be on for February. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer now that I say it out loud.
Yeah, everybody deserves a break every now and then. I think that you deserve it.
Yeah, I got this new job and I'm starting this new stuff, so I got to get that all squared away, and then we'll be back on here.
I know if you could do it, you would be here every week.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, the people love me, right?
Absolutely.
At least Jerry and that anonymous guy that just called.
Yeah, we've already accomplished it's because of your personality, not your looks.
Yeah, I think he bet on me. No wonder he doesn't win any money. All right, well, listen, let's just go to break so we can come back and get in this final segment before I have to take a month off. All right, you guys have been listening to WBVP 99.3 FM and 1230 AM. We'll be right back to One Man's Opinion on Sports.
Are you looking for a different kind of morning talk show? One that's in a town hall setting? With politics, sports, and much more. Just not in that particular order. Then join Frank Sparks weekday mornings at 6:30 for Driving in the Fast Lane on WBVP.
Your home for everything in Beaver County. 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP, coming to you live from the all-new Fry Transportation Studios.
Beaver County Transit Authority connects you to where you want to be. The doctor's office or well-deserved shopping spree will take you to wherever you please. Safe, no fuss, leave the driving to us. Hop on, adventures coming your way. Beaver County Transit Authority, BCTA. Ride the bus.
Midland residents, are you looking to travel to Calcutta using public transportation? BCTA Connect is live now. This service is free until March 1st, 2025. Rides can be booked using the convenient BCTA Connect app or by calling our customer service team at 724-375-2895. See how same-day, on-demand trips can help you by riding with BCTA Connect today. Visit our website at www.bcta.com/connect for more information.
Oh my goodness, Amy, it's so good to see you.
Jennifer, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you? Is your mom doing any better?
Thank you for asking. I don't know if I can answer without being emotional. I'm sorry. I'm just tired and worried. I can't always be there for her, and it's so stressful.
I really understand. That's how I was with my dad. I'd recommend calling St. Barnabas. We did. We started with just having them come in for home care. He was so excited to see them show up. And when he needed more, we were able to move him in at Beaver Meadows, where he still has his own home-like space and excellent care.
Thanks for telling me that. I don't even know how to start, but I have to do something.
Oh, you can just give St. Barnabas a call. They have directors that can explain how it all works. Trust me, you'll feel so much better, and so will your mom.
I'm so glad I ran into you.
Visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com or call 724-443-0700 for care apart from the ordinary.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Now, back to One Man's Opinion with Bryan Pasquale.
Welcome back to One Man's Opinion on Sports with me, Bryan Pasquale. I'm here at the same part of his studios. Joining me today is my producer, Ryan Garazunas. Ryan, we have 12 minutes left, our last show before we take a month-long break from Wednesdays. What What do we have to look forward? I mean, the Penguins stink. The Steelers, in my opinion, stink, and we know the Pirates stink. Here in Western Pennsylvania, what do we have to root for? I got maybe the Pitt Panthers men's basketball team?
Well, yes, I do like the Pitt
welcome
Panthers
to the show, Ryan.
men's basketball team. But let me just say, it's been 12 years since the Pirates won a playoff round, a game in the playoffs. It's been 8 years since the Steelers won a playoff game, and it's been 7 years since the Pittsburgh Penguins advanced in the playoffs. So we're certainly desperate for some winning here in Pittsburgh, Brian. You could check out.
We're like the city of losers.
You know, it's a far cry from back in the day, but I got to tell you this: that Pitt Panther basketball team that I seen beat North Carolina last night, I think they could be trouble come the tournament time here in another month or so. Whenever they go to March Madness, I think this Pitt Panther team. I'm not saying they're going to be great. I'm not going to say they're going to dominate, but I think that they could be trouble in the big tournament.
I think West Virginia is a pretty good team too.
Are they?
Yeah, West Virginia. They beat beat like number 2 in the country. They beat top 10 teams this year, and then they go out and then they lose to what the heck was his name? Anyway, I can't think of his name. Bobby Hurley's team. What is Arizona State? Yeah, they just lost to Arizona State.
Okay.
But, yeah. So anyway, you remember Hurley, right?
Absolutely, from Duke.
Yeah. So,
Grant Hill, Hurley, that whole squad back in the early 90s. Oh my
God, how good that might have been the best basketball team ever.
Christian Laettner. Yeah.
My daughter watched the Laettner 30 for 30 or whatever it was.
Really?
Yeah. She's like, remember we watched that video on that guy that everybody hated? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, do you know when I came out and away gyms, they would chant Laettner?
Really?
Every time I'd have the ball. And I was the point guard,
Yeah.
so like I had the ball a lot.
You remember Bobby Hurley? He got in that bad accident. And
See, I remember him like having to go to the bathroom in the beginning of games. Like the national championship games, like he would just run right off the court and you're like, where did he go? And then the next year you're like, I know where he went.
You should just follow the Jopa trick and just do it right there in his seat, right? Didn't Jopa go in his pants?
I don't know. He knew though.
Yeah.
Joe knew. For all you
knew.
Penn State fans out there, I'm sorry, but covering up child molestation for your football program is it's a sick thing.
Absolutely.
So I have no respect for that man because of that.
We are speaking about some college football.
Not to go too negative here.
We do have the new Pitt Panthers schedule coming out that came out for
football.
For football, when your West Virginia's right on here. If you don't mind, I'll read through this real quick.
Yeah, hold on. The first game is
City game.
Duquesne.
Yes.
And then they play Central
Michigan.
East, West, North, South Michigan.
This is the way.
And then they play West Virginia.
Yes, this is the way that they should have been scheduling. I think because you look at teams like Ohio State, they play a bunch of nobodies at home for the first month. We put some good teams in there last year, and you go this route. You want to get them first couple wins. We got Duquesne in the City game first. That game is on August 30th. And after that, we also play home again in the next week on the 6th of September against Central Michigan.
And then we're at
the 13th. We are going to West Virginia. Yes. Run that game back. We come home then after that for 2 games. We have Louisville and then Boston College. Then on the road to Florida State, at Syracuse, back home on October 25th against NC State, then at Stanford, Notre Dame, at Georgia Tech, and then Miami. So, I think if Holstein...
That sounds like about 5 wins.
I think if Holstein comes back and he plays the way he did early and Coach could get these guys playing the way they did early, I think they could have a decent season. Notre Dame's going to be tough, obviously. Miami's always going to be tough, but there's a lot of winnable games in here as well.
That Narduzzi, I just don't like him.
You're not a fan, huh?
No, and I do like them playing Duquesne. I
like
think that basketball has to happen every year. I don't understand. You play like 40 games. Like, well, why can't you?
Right.
I mean, they don't play 40 games, but they play a lot of games.
And some of them garbage teams that they play at the beginning of the season, there is no reason at all they can't stick a Duquesne game in there.
Right.
I mean,
and then, hopefully you have a couple local kids thinking that's a big deal, and then they go to either Duquesne or they go to Pitt so that they can play against, their cross-township rival or whomever.
Yeah, but that game was really good last night. Coming back to college basketball, I apologize, but that game between North Carolina and Pitt was really good, actually, and Pitt pulled it off, man.
It's nice when you beat Duke and you beat North Carolina. Yeah. I don't care.
Since 21-22, we have the most wins against North Carolina with 4. Nobody has beat them as many times as the Pitt Panthers have since 22.
Huh, interesting. Well, back when the Big East was first coming about, what was it, like 1982? Maybe it was before that. But Pitt wasn't even in the Big East. And the Big East wanted to get Penn State in. And then they said, no, we don't want you, for whatever reason. I would assume it has to do with Joe Paterno. So they let in schools such as Pitt, and then later West Virginia, and then later Miami, and then everybody left to go to the ACC, and it's like I miss the Big East basketball, where they had you got 6 fouls, not just 5.
Right.
So in the Big East tournament, you could foul 5 times and stay in the game. Then whenever you went to the NCAA tournament, the rules were different. Yeah. They had different rules because it was a different style. And then you go to the ACC and it was like more finesse.
Right.
And I was like, Pitt, that's just not the way they are. They were never like the greatest shooter, but now they have great shooters. So I guess they've changed the game. You brought in the assistant from Duke. It was Capel.
Absolutely.
And then, so,
I like Capel.
So, I with Pittsburgh not having an NBA team, it's default Pitt Panther basketball for sure. I went to the field house as a kid, and I went to their basketball camps, and I mean, I don't know, Sean, what the heck was his name?
Miller.
Sean Miller was there. Charles Smith was there. I want to say Charles Smith was in the NBA at that point too.
Sean, just from right up the road here in Blackhawk High School. Sean Miller was a graduate. Yeah, you know what? I enjoyed it too. I remember.
Sean beat South Park on a half-court shot.
Did he? Oh, them Millers were good. They were good.
It was tied, and he hit some like half-court buzzer beater, and then they went on to probably win the Whippeal. I would assume
they did win a lot when he was there. I know that.
Yeah. So we have college basketball. We've got a depressing pro sports time of the. I don't see anything happening in the next 2 years though. Positive.
It's good. You hope that we're wrong, but I mean, realistically, how can things get much better in the next 2 years? The Penguins have. I mean, come on, they're going to be missing the playoffs for the 3rd straight year. I mean, that's not good.
Yeah, like when is Malkin? When is Letang? When are they retiring? When are we done with this? I mean, I know Crosby's going to probably play a little bit longer than them, and he'll stick around. But when can we see like just the moving on?
This is a problem we have here in Western Pennsylvania. A lot of times we will continue to support the guy past their prime just to continue to be able to go to the stadium and see the name on the back of the jersey. Unfortunately, I think that's what's going on in Pittsburgh. You have to get younger at some point. They've been saying this for 3 years that I know about. They're not making the moves. They're keeping their Letangs. They're keeping their Malkins. They're keeping everybody that's aged. They sent Gensel down the road, who I would have thought would be a guy that you'd want to keep, but they are a little bit further off than people think they are as well, because, again, we just want to go and cheer on the number and the name instead of improving. And at some point, you have to hit rock bottom in order to improve. And the Steelers are in that boat, I think.
Whoa. The Pirates have been in decades of rock bottom and not improved. So wait, I don't know if there's always exceptions to the rule.
There's always
Ryan.
an exception. But, I mean, the Steelers, come on, we could keep doing this 10-7, get the 21st pick and not improving, because this is continuously going to be what you do and what you get. I think at some point you got to be able to get that higher draft pick, get your quarterback early, something like of that nature. Otherwise, I think it's going to continue to be the same thing over and over. We're paying for Watt, we're paying for Cam Hayward, and we're paying to read the name on the back of Minka Fitzpatrick's shirt. And as long as we continue to do that, there's no money that's being freed up to get offensive talent, and it's going to be the same thing over and over and over until they wise up.
Yeah, I mean, there's no quarterback in the draft that we're probably going to be able to get.
Not this year.
There's no quarterback in free agency that we could go get. The quarterbacks that we had are going to be available, and neither one of those is going to win you a playoff game. That's obvious. Here's the thing. We talk about how bad the offense is, right? I mean, that's a given. But the Chiefs' offense isn't much better. And they are in the Super Bowl again for the 3rd time in a row.
Yeah.
If your defense can just play well and your offense can score when they have to or when they need to, that's all you need. And when you spend as much money as we do on the defense, it's just money wasted, because it's not a top tier defense.
It's not, and especially for a defense that was paid the most. It was the most expensive defense, and they led the league in points given up in the first quarter of the game. Something's got to give here, guys. You got to get somebody younger on that defensive line. You have to. Minka, come on. I mean, as I read his numbers, you can see how terrible of a season he had. It's a crime that he's even in the all-pro game situation, the games, I guess you call it. But something's got to happen. They got to start spending their money right, or we're going to be stuck with this. Again, if this defense was stopping everybody constantly, that would be a different story. We've given up more points than anybody in the first quarter of games this year. That alone tells me that we have a big problem.
Huge problem. And it's like, what do you spend? Like, just here's what I would do. It's not going to happen. But every single player that is not on their first, their rookie contract or initial contract, everybody, just trade them. Whatever you can get, just trade them away and just, like you said, get younger.
Yeah.
Cam's not getting any younger. Watt's not getting any younger. Fitzpatrick's play's been terrible, and it's just get young and get fast and go from there.
I think just before we go off the air, because again, we will be off for a little while, meaning the show. Brian, I say my prediction is Justin Fields does start as the starter this year. I don't think we keep Russell Wilson. I can see him going out to Vegas and maybe playing for Pete Carroll. Him and Najee may go out to Vegas. I don't know what they're going to do with Najee either. My prediction is they're going to start Fields, and my prediction for the Super Bowl, I'm going to go with, and I hate it because I don't like either of these teams. I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. That's who I'm picking, and because I won't talk to you before or after that, so I just want to make sure I got that information out.
Yeah. We're going to be going here. We are not going to be on the air for the month of February and possibly March. We will be back definitely by April, the first Wednesday in April. Hopefully the first Wednesday in March, but we will see about that. It just depends on how this job goes. I appreciate everybody tuning in every Wednesday to One Man's Opinion on Sports. From Ryan, from myself, thank you for all the listeners. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you very much. You guys have all been listening to WVBP 99.3 FM and 1230 AM.
See you soon.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
You've been listening to One Man's Opinion on Sports with Bryan Pasquale on Beaver County Radio. Don't forget, you can watch the show on WBVP-WMBA Facebook page anytime. Tune in next Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. for One Man's Opinion on Sports with Bryan Pasquale on Beaver County